The Assiniboine Park Conservancy says their efforts to help a threatened species of bird have been a soaring success. Listen to these guys. These are chimney swifts. I think they're super cute. They're small, they're gray, they're kind of boomerang shaped in flight. I also think they sort of look like a skinny football with a pot belly with wings. You might have heard them, or you might have seen them zipping above your head on summer evenings, but their numbers have been dropping across Canada. Chimney swifts are particular about where they nest. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see them in a chimney. Options have been running out, though, over the past few decades. The Assiniboine Park Conservancy says they have, as I mentioned, successfully attracted some of the birds to nest in the park over the past few summers. And to talk about it, Kirstyn Eckhardt is with us, Conservation Programs Manager at the Assiniboine Park Conservancy. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. So what's led to these birds becoming a threatened species in Canada?
So there's a few different reasons. For one thing, the birds are insectivores. So that means they eat insects and they do so while they're flying. So they're called aerial insectivores. And this group of birds is in steep decline, probably because their insect prey that they depend on has also been declining. So that's one of the reasons that we're seeing fewer of them. But the other reason is because chimney swifts are pretty unique about where they nest. So unlike regular birds that can sit upright and perch, chimney swifts actually have to cling to a vertical surface. So you'll see them in the chimney holding on with their clawed feet. That's their normal resting position. All of the other time that they spend is in flight. So they're flying around for eating, drinking, collecting nesting material. And they actually only come into the chimney or other surface interior to roost and to nest. So they used to roost and nest in old dead trees, but as we started to clear those away, they had to adapt and they started to use artificial structures like chimneys. But as we know, most of us don't have chimneys anymore, or if we do, we've capped them off so they're closed, or we've lined them with metal so they're not a really textured surface for the birds to use anymore. So they're running out of options. And that's the other reason that we see that they're declining.
Look at them there. I'm just looking at our YouTube feed there, just clinging to the side of the chimney as you described, with their wings flattened out as they're in resting position. They're like they'd be amazing rock climbers, these little guys.
Yeah.
You constructed actually in 2019. There's an artificial chimney at the park to attract the birds. I understand though at first they weren't interested. When did you first start seeing chimney swifts inside the fake chimney? And remind us where that is. It's near Polo Park, right?
Yeah, so the artificial chimney is at the north end of Assiniboine Park, so it's pretty close to the English Gardens. It's fairly tall, but you might not notice it if you're just passing through the park. But it is a really tall, sort of square column that rises up near the heavy horse enclosure. And that chimney was first installed in 2018. While we didn't have any evidence of the birds nesting there that year, every summer since then, we've seen the chimney swifts raising nestlings inside of the chimney. The reason we know they're doing that, other than seeing them going in and out and seeing immature birds flying around, is because we have a trail camera set up inside the chimney, and our staff monitors it every summer.
Is that what
to see how many we have.
Is that what I'm looking at here? People are looking at if they're watching YouTube? Yeah, inside the chimney. It's so cool. Well, pardon me, you said 2018 is when it started to go up on the north part of the park. I don't know why I said Polo Park. What did it feel like when you saw, the success? As you said, the first year, not so much, but then they became attracted to it and you're having success. What did that feel like?
It was super exciting. This was the first time that an artificial structure had been used by chimney swifts in Western Canada. And the first time for the province of Manitoba. So it was very exciting to see the hard work that went into putting the structure up actually be used by the swifts. There have been some attempts in previous years of shorter chimneys, 12 feet tall, being constructed, but they weren't successfully used by swifts. So having this one work out was really rewarding.
Well, why is it important to increase the chimney swift population? What would it mean if these birds were to disappear ecologically?
So chimney swift populations have declined in Canada by about 90%. So we're trying to increase the habitat that they have for nesting to make them more successful at raising their young. And if they were to disappear, we would have a lot more insects flying around, and that includes insects that we think of as pests, like mosquitoes. Chimney swifts are insectivorous, and the vast majority of their diet is insects. So they're doing a really good job of helping keep insect populations under control. And without them, we would probably be tempted to use a lot more pesticides to get rid of things like mosquitoes, flies that
Um,
we don't want bothering us.
just two more quick questions, Kirstyn, on these fascinating birds. People might be wondering if they still have chimneys. What happens if
Mhm.
a swift gets in there? Like, can they be destructive?
They can't really be destructive. Their nests are very, very small, only about 4 inches wide. So they won't block up the chimney opening. Um, However, if you are curious about whether there's chimney swifts using your chimney, you can always reach out to the Manitoba Chimney Swift Initiative. They are an organization that monitors chimney swifts in the province and will monitor existing nest sites and roost sites. So they'd be very interested in knowing whether you have chimney swifts in your chimney at home or in your residence.
And it's super, as you were mentioning how small the nests are, that they won't block them. We were watching some images go by, and you can see they just sort of look like a tiny nest that's kind of stuck on the side of the chimney in a flat
Mhm.
way. So they really aren't very obtrusive. You mentioned the Chimney Swift Initiative website, which is important too because they also are looking for volunteers all the time. Thank you so much for explaining these, the birds and the success of the chimney here that people might now notice. Now that we've set it out, everybody's going to be in the park. We're driving by, I think, in Winnipeg and noticing it today. We appreciate knowing all about it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your interest.